Hey guys, welcome back to Back Sports, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, I really wanted to go over potential trade scenarios where the Chicago Bears decide, hey, maybe we should look into trade packages for the number one overall pick, because Ryan Poles specifically said we need to be blown away with a trade package to even consider moving off from the first overall pick. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you all, please remember to subscribe and like the video. It really helps me out a lot and it helps me make content similar to this. And now let's get into our first team. And to preface this, remember, Ryan Poles said he needs to be blown away. And in order to get a generational haul compared to last year, because last year with Bryce Young, we traded back because we felt that Justin Fields did enough to warrant another year in Chicago Bears uniform. And rightfully so. He deserved it. He did really good with whatever limited weapons we had that year, and it proved to be really good. Like while we were 3-14, we saw some glimpses that we could use to build on this year. This year, he just continued to show glimpses, and with weapons like DJ Moore, who was able to get a 1,300-yard year and his career highs in all his categories as a wide receiver. Cole Kmet had a great year. Justin Fields, with his injury, didn't really have the best year as we hoped for, but you got to keep in mind there was always that fear factor for Bears fans or Justin Fields fans in general that Caleb Williams is on the horizon, and this year is a lot different than last year where it could be a changing of the guard in terms of the quarterback. Now that context is out of the way, it's more likely the days go by that it looks like we might stick with the number one overall pick and draft Caleb Williams to be our Chicago Bears quarterback. But I just want to go in the trade scenarios where, say, we do get insane hauls, like for the number one pick, where it essentially will set us up for 4 years or so, 3 or 4 years. It's not likely that will happen, but if it does, you never know. And at that point, it would be worth it because Justin Fields would have essentially another year, and you will have a team that could be very QB friendly going forward. Say Justin doesn't work out. So, without further ado, let's go to the first team on the list, and that is the I showed the second one, but I'll get into that. First is the New England Patriots, all right? So the Patriots have been eyeing a quarterback for a while now, and obviously Mac Jones ended up being a project and not working out really well. He did really good his first season, but it ended up being a shell of himself, mainly due to coaching and other factors bad weapons, very terrible drafting by Belichick. But now Belichick is gone. Gerard Mayo is now the new head coach of the team, and pretty much they're going to go from scratch. And Mac Jones is probably gone. Bailey Zappi is probably not going to be there either. So your real situation is, okay, now what do we do at the quarterback spot? And if they end up making a package to draft a quarterback and they really think that Caleb Williams could be that guy, I think they should go for it. And I feel like it would be hard for them not to even give an attempt, because might as well try, because you're in the third spot. And let's go to Tankathon for real quick. Yeah, you're in the third spot right now, and in terms of the big board, you would probably be taking Drake May in the third overall pick. So now looking at this, I think that going with the quarterback, and if you can find a way to give as much capital as possible to sway Ryan Poles into making a trade with you and giving Caleb Williams, and you can take the number one overall pick, I would definitely try. Yes, you're going to be mortgaging a lot of your future for this number one pick, but might as well bring it in. Will it be likely that he will develop in his first year? Probably not, because you don't have the weapons. But you can build a team through the second, third round, fourth, all that stuff. But it really depends on what picks you have at the end of the day. And I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these things won't be likely, but I feel like New England could make a package to get Caleb Williams, and they're in need of a quarterback. And now, the New York Giants, all right? That's the number 2 team. The New York Giants, they really thought that they had a quarterback with Daniel Jones. Obviously, he had a very bad year, and to be fair, he did injure himself and tear his ACL, I'm pretty sure. So, that's also there. You already paid him a lot of money from a decent year he had. And, that's the same thing with like what people are saying about like Justin Fields. Why do you want to keep Justin Fields? It's going to be like Daniel Jones again. I wouldn't say it like that. I feel like Daniel Jones was already like, you know, he while he was able to be mobile and showed a little bit, like I don't think he's definitely athletically better than Justin Fields or statistically, like you know, as athletic or as great of a talent as Justin Fields is. You know, so now that the Daniel Jones experiment is kind of pretty much nearing the end, and you still paid him, there's a little bit of a redemption you could do with trading trading your current pick, which you stand really at the sixth pick. So you make a splash play, make a package, and get Caleb Williams to maybe even potentially help your team. Again, not likely, but at the end of the day, if you want to build a team and you really have you have a bunch of pieces with you in terms of wide receivers and stuff. So why not just add it to it? You have Brian Dable, who's an offensive-minded head coach, who is also really good at coaching too, and was able to bring Daniel Jones to have a really good year in 2022. So might as well take a shot. I feel like you could still get away with it and still be able to have a good team to build around Caleb Williams. And the third team on this list is the Denver Broncos. And, the Russell Wilson experiment ran its course. And, moving up from the 12th overall pick is really going to be a lot because, as you can see right here, 12th pick. It's a huge jump to get to the first. Not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be mortgaging a lot, given that, Sean Payton is there. I feel like Sean Payton is really wanting to, extend his options when it comes to figuring out what quarterback he wants. So if he can make a play at getting Caleb Williams for him, it could really work in his benefit. The team around the Denver Broncos is overall really good with decent wide receivers, and if you continue to build upon it in the draft, you could do really good things with it. They could be very poised to make a splash play as well. So I went through all these three teams on this list, but there's one team I really want to consider as well, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. So the Atlanta Falcons as a whole have been, a team to be reckoned with because they have everything in their disposal. They just recently hired Raheem Morris as their head coach, and, they have a lot of pieces like Bijan Robinson, Hodge, Algier, what's his name? Drake London as a wide receiver one. You could probably even draft a later wide receiver or even sign a wide receiver in the offseason. And I'm pretty sure the Atlanta Falcons have one of the top cap space in the league. So you can definitely make a play in that sense. And I feel like a team like that with a first-time head coach in Raheem Morris, developing alongside with a talent like Caleb Williams could also be a very good thing for this team. And in terms of their draft position, they're not like the worst. Like they're in the 8th spot. They can definitely move up. They have the same record as the Chicago Bears. So at the end of the day, I feel like this is the best for Caleb specifically. Out of all the teams I have mentioned, I think this team is the better team to be landing in, because if say the Falcons move up, you're guaranteed to have a good head coach, or like at least a coach that's under the Sean McVay tree, and then weapons around you, a defense that's kind of growing up and it's up and coming, and while you may have to give up a lot of draft capital, at least for the first year, it will still be a pretty solid outing for you, in terms of your development. And yeah, I mean, there are definitely other teams like the Raiders have been an option, but I don't think the Raiders will be able to, develop Caleb Williams. Like a lot of these teams I mentioned probably won't develop him as well as he hopes. But I'm just saying in terms of from the GM's perspective, if they were to make a splash play, that's the way to go. And yeah, so let me know if there are any other teams that I haven't covered, and I would like to hear your guys' thoughts when it comes to potential trade packages. Obviously, again, I would like to preface it's more likely than not that the Bears are going to keep the number 1 pick. But, given that we have time, might as well explore all avenues and all potential possibilities. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I am really appreciative of all the support recently on the channel. It means a lot to me. And that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.